Welcome to our video where we'll explore math through storytelling and art inspired by indigenous traditions. We'll be blending creativity with math as we dive into activities like modeling the growth of turtle shells. But first, we'll set the stage with a traditional Native American creation story. In the story, two spirits, the Watcher and the Turtle, find themselves adrift in a vast, dark sea. In the quest to create a new world, they call upon a powerful creator who leads them through an adventure filled with courage, cooperation, and the magic of creation. Together, they shape a new world from a small ball of mud, showing the importance of patience, determination, and imagination.
In the beginning, there was nothing but a vast black sea. There were no stars, no moon, and no sun. The sky was so dark that it was difficult to tell where the water ended and the sky began. Everything was empty and cold. Floating in this nothingness was a tiny raft with two spirits on it. One was named Pehe'ipe, also known as the Watcher. The other was named Anosma, known as the Turtle. They didn't know how they had gotten on the raft, they didn't know where they had come from, and they didn't know where they were going. They were scared and lonely. Finally, the Watcher said, "We can't just float in this nothingness forever. There must be someone out there who can make a world for us. Let's call and sing out to this being, and maybe they'll answer." The Turtle and the Watcher screamed and cried and sang for what felt like forever, and suddenly the sky split in half, and a rope made of feathers called a pokelma shot down from the sky. The Watcher and the Turtle became scared. They shielded their eyes as a bright, blinding light filled the sky. They bravely uncovered their eyes and were met with the Creator. Creator's face was covered, but their bodies shone as bright as the sun. He turned to the Turtle and the Watcher and said, "You have called me and I have come. What do you need from me?" There was a long pause as the Turtle and the Watcher collected their wits. All of a sudden, they began to cry and explained to Creator about their need for a world to live in. Creator listened to them for a while until they began to repeat themselves over and over again as words spilled out of their mouths. Creator raised a hand and said, "Hush, hush. I can build a world for you, but I can't build it out of nothing. Collect a small ball of mud for me, and I will make you a world." The Watcher and the Turtle looked around the vast nothingness and chuckled. "Right. Where am I going to get a ball of mud?" said the Watcher. But Creator was patient. He said, "Oceans have bottoms, and at the bottom, you'll find mud. You'll find enough mud for me to build a world." Turtle, who was known to be the best swimmer, knew what Creator meant. He stood up on the raft and prepared to dive in. Creator put a hand out to prevent him and said, "Stop, Turtle. Don't be so hasty." Creator pulled on the pokelma, the rope made out of feathers, and fastened it to Turtle's foot. He said, "No matter how far you dive, this rope will keep you safe. Give it a tug and we'll pull you right back up." Turtle thanked Creator and quickly dove into the vast ocean below. Some say Turtle's dive lasted 5 hours. Some say 5 days. Even some say 5 years. But there was no sun, no moon, and no stars, so it was difficult to tell the time. Turtle dove farther and farther into the ocean. He became frightened. Where was the bottom and why couldn't he find it? He was running out of air and running out of time. When he knew he could only take one last stroke, he reached his hand out and kicked as hard as he could. He felt something, but it slipped away. Turtle then tugged on the rope and was pulled right back up to the surface. Between gasps for air, Turtle cried and cried to Creator. He said, "I tried as hard as I could, but I just couldn't get the mud. I guess me and the Watcher will just have to stay here." Creator hugged him and replied, "You're being hasty again, Turtle." He pulled out a knife from his pocket and began to scrape underneath Turtle's nails. When Creator was done, there was a small speck of mud on the blade of his knife. He turned to Turtle and said, "You tried as hard as you could, Turtle, and that's all anyone can ever do. This is just enough for me to make you and Watcher a world." Creator placed the tiny ball of mud in the center of the raft and said, "Now we must sing a song of creation and power. Sing with me so that we might create this world." The Watcher and the Turtle began to sing with Creator, and as they sang, the seed-sized ball of mud popped and turned into a pea. As they sang and sang, the ball of mud became bigger and bigger until it was as big as Turtle. "Look at that, Turtle, we're making a world," said the Watcher. They began to sing even louder. They clapped their hands and stomped their feet until the ball of mud became a range of mountains across the sea of nothingness. The three of them smiled with excitement. They immediately climbed to the peak of one of the mountains. Once they got there, Creator began to draw rivers with his knife. "Do you like the world I've created?" asked Creator to the Watcher and the Turtle. "Well, I can't really see the world without any light," the Turtle said. "Can you make some light so I can see it?" "Of course," said Creator. He said, "Watch east. I'll have my sister come up." The Watcher and the Turtle looked east, and all of a sudden the sun came flying across the sky. Turtle and the Watcher cried with tears of joy as they saw the world that they had dreamed of. All of a sudden it became dark again. The Watcher and the Turtle became worried. "Don't worry," said Creator. "I'll ask my brother to come up." They looked at the sky and the moon traveled across the sky. Creator asked, "How do you like it?" The Turtle and the Watcher said, "We like it very much." But is that all you're going to do for us?" Creator said, "No, I'm going to do so much more." Creator then called the stars each by name, and as he said their names, they began to appear in the sky. When it was done, Turtle asked, "Now what do we do?" Creator said, "Wait and I'll show you." Then Creator made a tree grow. Creator, the Watcher, and the Turtle sat under that tree's shade for 2 whole days. As they sat under that tree, 12 different types of acorns began to fall. Creator even sculpted animals to inhabit the new world. Creator then bid farewell to Turtle and the Watcher as he went off to create the first man and the first woman. The Watcher and the Turtle sat under that tree, feeling at peace, knowing that they weren't alone anymore.
Inspired by this story, we'll move into the growing turtles activity. Using circles, you'll model the growth of turtle shells, just like turtles' journey into the story. You'll experiment with different growth rates, learning how math concepts like scale and exponential growth come to life. This activity is a fun way to see how math and storytelling intersect, celebrating Indigenous culture while developing valuable math skills. Let's dive and create something special together.
Now we're going to show you an activity inspired by the turtle, anosma. This activity is all about using circles to see how things can grow in different ways. Let's get started. First, you'll need some paper, a pencil, a compass, or a round object to trace, like a cup, and some scissors. You can also use colored markers or crayons to decorate your turtles. First, let's make a shell of your turtle. Draw a small circle using your compass or by tracing around your round object. This will be your turtle's shell. Once you have your circle, fold it in half through the center and then fold it again into quarters. Keep your paper folded and draw the shape of the turtle parts on one of the folded sections. Draw a half circle on one of the edges to be the head and the tail, and then add a leg. Next, carefully cut along your lines while keeping the paper folded, and then unfold it to reveal your turtle. Now you can use your markers or crayons to decorate your turtle. You can draw and color any design you want. Now let's make another turtle, but this time we're going to make it a bit bigger. If you are using a compass, you can extend the radius of the circle. Or if you are using a cup, you can flip the cup around and use a larger end, or use a larger round object to trace. Draw a new, larger circle using this new size. After you draw this new circle, repeat the same steps as the last circle. Fold the larger turtle into fourths, draw your head and arms, cut out the turtle, and draw your design. Now you can compare the sizes of your turtles. Using a ruler, you can measure the diameter of the first turtle. Mine is about 2.5 inches. Repeat this step with your larger turtle. My second turtle has a diameter of about 3.5 inches. Even though the second turtle's diameter is only an inch larger, it's over twice as big. And that's it. You have just learned how to make your own growing turtles using math. This activity helps us see how things can grow in patterns, just like in nature. Keep experimenting with different sizes and designs, and have fun creating.